Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Just checking in. Still nothing much going on, but I just had a weird thing happen. I don't know if you guys have had this happen. I pulled up to the store with my daughter, and two women were talking. One was fairly young, and she had a camera. She almost looked like she was trying to take a picture of us. As my daughter was getting out of the car, of course, I wasn't, paying attention to her because she's right here in front of me. And my daughter was getting out over here. So when I'm talking to my daughter, talking to my son, I could have sworn, you ever had that feeling? That's like the second time that's happened. Like someone's trying to take like a picture of you on the down low. If this has happened, you guys let me know. Because, I mean, there's all kinds of crazy folk out here. They could be putting stuff on the dark web. They could be putting stuff on Snapchat and putting your name beside it. You got to realize, especially dealing with the stalking situation that I've gone through, that you got to be... almost thinking like a criminal, because that's pretty much what they are, right? And it's sad. It's disturbing. I mean, you kind of, and as soon as I looked up, they turned around and started walking the other way. Now, I did notice one time I was at the store and a woman did that, whether she was filming Walmart. Who in the world would want to film Walmart? Maybe she's from the middle of nowhere and has never seen a Walmart. But, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, oh, you put it in the trunk or... I'll put it in the trunk. I help them. Yeah, so you got to be careful out there, ladies. I mean, there's new ways of trafficking. The putting things in people's drinks. Yeah, I've been there. And I mean, there are certain stores or restaurants I won't even go in. There's a lot of that nasty crap. Putting things in people's foods. Remember I was telling you all that stuff that happened to me? Well, now it's happening to some lady in Texas, where she said someone put something on her tissue, and it is kind of weird. No one knows if it's a gang, if it's a pervert, if it's a stalker. It could be a serial killer. Oh, thanks. No, I'm not Kevin Samuels. I am just tired. So, yeah, that blows my mind, though, that we have to go back to even before 1990. You guys remember that episode of Moesha? Those of you who are old enough to remember, where that guy spiked her drink at the party with GHB. Now there's not even a party, right? They're just pretending there is. It's so sad. I really worry about our young ladies out here. And I'm an older woman and I'm concerned. And that's pretty sad. Because even sometimes vindictive people, men and women, both participate. So, you guys be careful out there. If you find a tissue or something on your door handle, don't touch it. Or in a basket if you're in the store, or on the ground or anywhere near you. Try not to step on it. Try not to touch it. If you go into a bar or a restaurant, make sure you check your drink. It's kind of hard in a restaurant, right? But if it tastes funny or something, immediately, ask for a new drink or tell them that it tastes funny. Let them know that you're aware of it. I've even had this happen in my home, like in my refrigerator, and it freaks me out. And you're talking about freaked out. Doors locked, windows locked, alarm on. No way. These people are getting more cunning at what they're doing. They're more elusive. They're more sneaky, and that type of what's the word I'm looking for? Deviant behavior. Is so rare, but it's happening so often that it's telling me something or someone is encouraging this behavior. It's almost like you're summoning, demons from the grave, right? That's what it seems like. They're just deviant in nature for no reason. So it's so strange to me how all of a sudden these people are coming out of nowhere. And the first people they attack are the people with the energy that they wish they had. And guess who they came for? And I couldn't believe it, because I've seen this happen before when I was a kid. Maybe it's because I was so young. In the 80s I was just a kid. I was in elementary school, and maybe they did come, and it was difficult then. High school was difficult. But now that I'm recognizing a pattern and I'm seeing these people for what it is, you can blame it on gang violence, you can blame it on the black male youth, you can blame it on white supremacy, you can blame it on a number of different things, or just the fact that these people are growing up with moral and ethical values that are, really honestly in the toilet. And I don't know what's causing that deviant nature. Normally there's something underneath that's causing it to happen, right? We used to say, okay, there's this one area in town don't go to because those people act like that, right? Whether it be the redneck part of town, whether it be, you know, a bunch of people that you know in a certain area that act that way. We're not going to that area because those people act that way, and we know we're not like that. We can't do that anymore. It's almost like it's exploding with all this negativity and immaturity, and honestly, I don't know what to do. It's uncalled for, it's unprompted, and it's like just being nasty for nasty's sake, right? So if you see something, you guys, I mean, you know it's a black femicide going on, and you know that there are people out here that are taking advantage of black women. You know that we have children to raise. Those of us who have kids, you know, look out for your daughters. And if you see them acting strangely, ask them, is something wrong? And hopefully you'll get, you know, an answer. Jazz can be kind of, you know, quiet and doesn't want to talk to me sometimes. That's how kids are. You know, I say kids, she's 28 now, but that's how your kids are, right? So you can't make people do what they don't want to do. But what you can do is try your best to understand when and where this might be happening. And you know, I hate to put it all on the woman because it's not our fault. You know, the police actually, especially where black women are concerned, black and indigenous women, they want us to do all the work. And if we do report it, they try to pretend like, you know, and gaslight us. And that's not right. It's not fair. It's not right. And it's illegal. I was really, you know, I posted some stuff on my Twitter account for you guys who basically follow me regarding what's going on with the light-skinned thing and all of the things that these kids quickly forgot. I mean, we're talking 3 or 4 years ago where we were talking about 4 women and Nina Simone, where, you know, you're talking about Sophronia, who's a light-skinned individual who has been, you know, the product of rape. And generally during slavery we had a lot of rape, and we have generations of lighter skinned individuals, you know, not necessarily just due to that. Of course we have biracial people. Now we have a lot of these Hispanic Latina people coming over. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about first generation biracial communities. I'm talking about specifically those who are multi-ethnic and those who had people in their families that were product of rape, being accused of having light skin privilege. I don't think there is such thing as a light skin privilege. That's a made up concept. Again, a logical fallacy, and we're not going to go through that again. Because if you have privilege, then apparently you have no oppression or very little oppression compared to someone who's darker. And that's a myth. That's an absolute lie. There is no, this oppression is greater because you're darker skinned. And I don't want to get into that discussion, you know, but I think that it's sad because really at the core of the matter, we're ignoring sexual assault. And it's always going to be violence towards women that men in these disciplines, irregardless of if it's sociology, psychology, whatever, it's always going to be violence towards women that they're going to ignore. This theory of light-skinned privilege blatantly, I mean, and I do mean blatantly, exploits lighter-skinned individuals and sets them up to be sexually assaulted. Worse than Redbone and Kool-Aid and what is favorite chocolate Kool-Aid? I don't even want to recite the words of the song because it's cringy, right? And if you have any indigenous heritage, if you're a lighter-skinned individual with any sort of redness in your skin tone, and you've heard the phrase Redbone, and you know what came with it back in the 80s, when that's why I said this is like the 80s when they first came out with that, you'd be, I mean, not laughing, not thinking it was cute, not thinking it was just popular. I mean, when he said this is America and he was doing that dance like a slave, you should have figured out he was serious as a heart attack. This is what slaves do. They exploit one another to get out the plantation, right? But if you're a smart worker, you know you're not going to go because some light-skinned person is in the big house, because you know how she got there. She got either R-worded herself, or she was a child of a person who was R-worded, you know what I'm saying, who was darker skinned. So irregardless of whatever circumstance, you're not going to participate in that. Even years later, way past the blue vein society and all of that crazy stuff that people like to bring out when we're talking about light-skinned privilege, it's not the early 1900s. We must understand that this is a different circumstance. We have many different types of people coming over. You can't say light-skinned people because there's too many different types of us. And I say poor Sophronia because you have no idea And some do know, and that's what I'm saying. Just like this young lady that may have had this camera doing that. Some are vicious for no reason. Some know they're doing it, and they're doing it specifically to exploit certain groups of folks. Maybe Native Americans, maybe, you know, black women, so forth and so on. So I think Josh had a phone call, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off because I think she's got a phone call. She had to get out of the car or whatever. I'm like, where's she going? Yeah, because we're sitting in the parking lot. I'm about to go because I just picked up from work. But the thing is, it's hard out here for all of us. Please don't try to come at me, because these people are basically worse than any type of illegitimate con artist that I've ever seen that want to attach just because we said dark-skinned people and there was colorism, right? They've attached all of this other thing to it, like a rider to a life insurance policy that you wouldn't sign even to save your life, literally. And like, I'm not signing that. I didn't tell you there was light skin privilege. You just made that up. It's a dichotomy of words. Lighter skin of what? Of a darker skinned person? Okay, so that means that dark skinned person oppression, and now if you're related to that dark skinned person, you're also going to have a certain amount of oppression. You're going to have to explain that a little bit more and clearly state that lighter skinned people supposedly have a lesser oppression, which you can't, because in every circumstance it's not going to be true. It's not even remotely replicable in any type of study, because every single person that you're going to talk to is going to have a different experience. Now, in the past, they've done older studies, but that doesn't mean they haven't had a recent one, and they basically need to update the literature versus having someone who's a fox in the hen house basically destroy the black community, because this is violence. It's violence against women. It encourages sexual assault towards lighter skinned individuals, and I'm just so tired of seeing African American women who don't get this. You have to speak up. If you're being assaulted, you're being stalked, you're being pressured in any kind of way, coercion, if you see even a darker skinned individual who's a woman, report it. If you see someone who says they want to do that, ha ha ha, it's a joke, I'm going to take a picture of someone without their knowledge and put it online, or put it, you know, send an email to somebody, don't participate. Trafficking is the #1 crime in this country. It is not even drug trafficking, it's human trafficking. Now, for some people, they don't kidnap you, but they learn how to follow you and break into your home and all this other kind of stuff. So anyway, I gotta go, because I think, like I said, Jazz was on the phone. I didn't even realize, so she's probably cursing me out in her head. So let me go ahead and get out of here. You want to say hi?
No.
Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Is that the door? Yeah. He's had a rough couple days. Drove me crazy yesterday. I don't know what was going on with his meds. He seemed fine, but sometimes he'll just, you know, with autism, you don't know. You know, sometimes you don't know. It was just kind of wearing me out. Everything with this move and this crazy new company that bought our apartment complex, and you know, you guys know I want a house, so it's kind of hard to do in a short period of time. So I'm just like, I'm not freaking out. I'm just annoyed more than usual. So, like I said, I'm going to be here back and forth, you know, when I get a moment. But I mean, if people are up here trying to start stuff a lot behind people's backs and all that stuff, most of that stuff is Facebook. But if, because I don't even go on Facebook that often, but if that occurs, trust me, I'm not going to be the type to participate. Don't believe the hype. You should know that by now. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Hope you have a great day. Bye.